Today I'm at Woodlawn Memorial Garden Cemetery in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm just across from where the funeral home is. We decided to park there because it would be easier to park, and headed to this first section to see the grave of somebody that was referred to as the Tennessee Plowboy. As I just mentioned, we are across from the actual funeral home here, mausoleum section of the cemetery, and headed right across the road I did, and I'm going to show you the section that I came to so we can find the grave we're looking for today. We are going to be in Chapel Garden H, and a good way to spot it is there is a tree, and where you see the rock wall with steps coming down, there's a pathway there, but it's in between the sign and that wall area. And I said we're looking for the boy that, or man I should say, that was referred to as the Tennessee Plowboy, and that is none other than Eddy Arnold. And you wonder how he got that name. Well, it was because he was born and raised on a farm, and his dad was a farmer and a sharecropper at that. And I read that his dad had passed away early when Eddy Arnold was just, I believe he was 11 years old when his dad passed away. So he had a hard time with trying to go to school, and that didn't, I think he ended up having to drop out a time or two and all that to help around the farm. And when you see it, you're going to see Richard E., and that's for Richard Edward Arnold. And his wife Sally died, I think, about 3 months, I believe it was, before he did. So he had a long marriage, and you wonder if a broken heart didn't play a part in his passing. But I will show you that he also has like a guitar, and may have to try to find out why there's a 33 on the marker here. That's better with zooming it in like this and showing you the shadow of my gimbal and all. But anyway, back to the Plowboy story. As like I said, he was born and raised on a farm, and what happened was that a lot of times when he would perform, like I think at school functions or little areas that he would perform when he was younger, they said he would ride a mule and have a guitar strapped to his back, and him being a farmer's son and raised on a farm, that's how he got that name. I will show you next to him, I think they had two children, Sally and Eddy Arnold, but his son has also passed away, and he passed away in 2016. And he was, of course, Richard Edward Arnold Jr., and he went by the name Dickie, as you can see here. I want to talk a little bit more about him and his country music and all. He was a country, pop music, and gospel singer all, and I think some people kind of thought that he got away a little bit from the country music, but he did that when country music wasn't quite as big in the 50s. He did a little bit more of the pop music scenes and stuff. But we don't want to forget that Eddy Arnold, I think of him only mainly as being country music, because when I was reading about it and everything before coming to the cemetery, it said that he had 147 Billboard country music chart records. So he did have a lot of country music, whether people want to know it or not. And I don't know his number one kind of theme song or the song he played for the most. You may or may not consider it country. You may consider it pop. I'm not sure. Was Make the World Go Away. And speaking of that song, Make the World Go Away, the song has been inducted and got a Grammy Hall of Fame award for that song. And I will, as I talk a little bit more about him, show you how close you are to the rock wall up there where his grave's on the other side. And you can see there's a little pathway coming down from that. But Eddy is known for doing a few things and with his career and all, but he was a member of the Grand Ole Opry, of course, and he has been inducted into Country Music Hall of Fame. Eddy Arnold also was a musician. He could play the guitar and the banjo, and he even had his own TV show in the 1950s called The Eddy Arnold Show. But one thing that I found out that I didn't know before doing research about Eddy Arnold was that his manager, or one of his managers at one time, was Colonel Tom Parker. Yes, the same Colonel Tom Parker that did Elvis Presley. What I was talking about, him maybe doing some of the pop-over music, they called it. There was another one that was kind of in that beginning of that generation when in the 1950s country music was losing a little bit of its appeal, and a lot of people were going to the pop music, and that was Jim Reeves. So Jim Reeves and Eddy Arnold have been considered by some as pioneers for getting what is now called the Nashville sound going. And a lot of people may not enjoy Eddy Arnold's music. Some may think it's too old-fashioned or whatever, but as for me, I really enjoy it. Even have an Eddy Arnold album. We'll be showing you that in just a moment. And of course, there's Eddy Arnold's grave there, but I wanted to show you just how close it is to the main road one more time. And if you go up there and just a little ways down through the drive, that's the main entrance, so you're not going to have to be driving all over the cemetery to find his grave. And of course there is a gazebo. You're going to pass that too as you come in. As I end the video with showing the front and back cover of my Eddy Arnold record, I'll mention a few more things about him. He like 1 week turning 90 when he passed away. He was born in Henderson, Tennessee, and would die in Nashville, Tennessee. Eddy Arnold was married to his wife, Sally, for 66 years. As a performer, Eddy Arnold wasn't into wearing glitzy outfits, as some of the country music stars did back during that era, but he was more into wearing tuxedos and suit-type jackets. Another amazing fact I found out was that the most famous song I think of Eddy Arnold, Make the World Go Away, there was a famous piano player that accompanied him on it, and that was the country music legend Floyd Kramer. Eddy Arnold won the Academy of Country Music Award called the Pioneer Award. But one of the most fascinating things about some of the awards he received that I found out was that in 1967, Eddy Arnold was voted the first ever to receive the Country Music Association Entertainer of the Year Award. Eddy Arnold's music career lasted many years. It is said that at the age of 16 is when he did his first radio debut on a radio station in Jackson, Tennessee. And I think up until the very last few years of his life, he would actually sing occasionally at different places, and maybe even made a recording just not too many years before he passed away. And as you're looking at the back cover of my album, you'll notice there's lots of Eddy Arnold music in different forms, Christmas music, gospels, and different things, a little bit of pop, a lot of country too. But I would add that I read that he sold more than 85 million records in his lifetime. I really didn't find the true meaning, I guess, of what the number 33 on Eddy's grave marker stood for. So I'm just imagining it stood for 33 size record albums, such as this one that I have. So hope you've enjoyed the Eddy Arnold story that I gave you today, and maybe found out something about him that you didn't know. I found him a very fascinating man and a wonderful singer. The last unusual note that I found out about Eddy Arnold is that he was one of the volunteer searchers who would find the wreckage of his friend and fellow country music singer Jim Reeves' plane crash in 1964.